me, pledge the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll call this meeting to order. Those present are Darrell Baker, County Clerk, Gary Matthews, President, Charles Vance, Commissioner, and Charles McCann, Commissioner. Everyone's here. All right. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular session of the County Commission meeting that was held on October 16th, 2014 at 6 p.m.
So moved. I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. If that be unanimous, motion carries. Now we're in public comment. Doris Sharp, report on comments.
Well, I'm back again, this time of year. Again, I'd like to thank the commission for allowing me the opportunity to attend the 2014 West Virginia Educational Conference on Litter Control and Solid Waste Management, and I couldn't remember all that, on October 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Pullman Plaza in Huntington. This year was a little different because I received a phone call in early September asking me to be a judge for the new Volunteer of the Year, which I gladly accepted. They wanted the input of last year's recipient to look over the candidates. Since I was a recipient last year, they had me this year. On Sunday, we had our Taste of West Virginia dinner. It's always interesting because, you know, it's kind of like a critter dinner. You never know what's on the menu. Our Lincoln County Board had 100% attendance. We received some very good information and ideas. I believe all members brought back some ideas for our recycling programs. Cabell County has a fantastic program. They should be an example of how a recycling program works. I sat in on a session about Robert's Rules of Order with Wayne Bennett as a teacher, and I'm sure you're all familiar with this book. There's been some updates in the book with social media changing. One great new rule is we do not have to do all of our advertising in the newspaper. Sorry, Sean. Maureen advertises in the Journal about a meeting, then she has to cancel the meeting because not all members are available for the meeting. Now we can post the notice in a public place 2 weeks before the meeting takes place. And in this instance, it would be on the bulletin board out here at the courthouse. Also, Wayne said, Facebook is sufficient to advertise our activities, but with not everyone having a computer or on Facebook in this rural area, I have suggested to Maureen that she still advertise in the Journal about our recycling container events in our area. So we now have a Facebook page. Just type in Lincoln and it should pop up. If not, continue typing County Solid Waste Authority until it does. When you visit our page, make sure you ask for a friend request. I've made a slogan for our page, and it is, we clean up. Please be patient as this page needs some polishing up. Hopefully within the next few weeks it will look more professional. We'll post our meetings, activities, and cleanups on Facebook. And I did bring y'all a present. I wasn't able to do it last year, but I did this year. Now the little purple bag, I'm sure y'all have a little girl in the house that you'd like to have that little bag. Or you can put a special present in at Christmas time and hang it on the tree.
Thank you.
You're there. I'm sorry, at 4 is all I can get.
Oh, I'm okay.
That's all I can get.
Thank you, Doris.
You're welcome. Yeah.
All right, next on the, for public comment is Rick McDowell, report on the Hearts Community Center section.
Yes, just wanted to give you, well, not really very much of an update, Doc. I wanted to, this was what I shared with folks at the Monday meeting. The issue is still what to do about the beauty salon at the Hearts Community Center. The estimate is that because you can't put the chemicals from the beauty salon in your regular septic system because they're so strong they will destroy all the good chemicals in it. So you have to create a separate discharge area for that. And the estimates are that without the pumping fee, and we don't know how often you have to have it pumped, it could be weekly, it could be monthly, we're looking at an extra $7,000 plus. And the hope was that the Hearts Community Center would come back with some kind of a recommendation on this. They have not yet. So I guess I'm sort of hoping that the commission would have an idea of what to do next on this. I got two concerns. One is that we're heading into bad weather. It would be nice to get this done before that. And the other is we've got all these open places, these pits and trenches that we've dug to find out some of the problems we've got that are not filled in, that are hazardous to people. We've got tape around it, but, you know. I'm passing the ball back, guys, on whether somebody could, you know, formally request the Hearts. I feel uncomfortable making a recommendation without their input. What I've shared this stuff with them, with Haas.
Do you have something ready?
Our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, it's coming Tuesday. So hopefully, we can come to a solution. The reason we haven't met is the election issues and the canvassing and things of being down at the community center, so it's been kind of.
Hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have a recommendation from the Hearts Board about what we ought to do about this problem.
And we'll put it on the agenda.
Okay, that'd be great.
Sound good?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Sure. All right, next, David Atkins, Town Hamlet, Mayor.
Yeah, I was checking to see if I could get y'all to, I'd like to annex, the, Route 3 to the M&R restaurant and bring it to the, 911 down Lower Mud River and take it to the Allegiant at the mouth of 34. And, I guess I have to get y'all's approval for that, for me to even start on it. That's something you have to put on your agenda, I guess,
Yeah.
and vote on, so I just wanted to.
Could you send us a letter
Sure.
and kind of explain
Yeah, I'll give you
the
the plans.
process of the annex, you know, why you want to annex and,
Well, it's incorporating is what it is, the road itself.
right?
I've got a few people that's really wanting to be in this town of Hamlin, so they'll pick them up, and a few businesses and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Now we're at discussion of concern, possible action with the Purple Heart signs. I think that on the last meeting, we approved the county to be Purple Heart County. And I think they are asking for 6 signs. That's $45, $45 a piece. And I believe we had that in the budget, so I was gonna see if we can go ahead and pay for the signs.
I think we should. I'll make a motion. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That being unanimous, motion carries. All right, next we have Leroy Burgess with the Helping Hands Food Pantry.
Good evening, sirs. Ma'am. I just gave you a copy of our, for October. We served 370 school kids per week. It came out to 1,480 kids between the 6 elementary schools. We served them 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 2 dinners, drinks and snacks. And on that one, I went to this county school board meeting asking for some help, some funding, because there's a lot of kids that we're taking care of now. Last year, we were only doing 2 schools. Now we got all 6 elementary schools. Now they told me that they could not give us no money because it's against their law for some reason, but they would ask the schools to do a food drive. Well, as of today, since September, no school has done a food drive. On the second page, on the back, you'll see we served 493 families during the month of October. We're open every Tuesday. We broke it down to senior citizens was 400, 18 to 59 was 400, and children from birth to 18 was 649. What we do is each family we divide by 3 at times 3. So it came to 1,479. And for the month of October, we did 23 emergency orders through DHHR. What I'm here to ask you is, we have filed for some grants which are coming in January, but right now, because of the holidays coming up, we need buy some canned goods to last for the last 2 months of this year. I can buy a skid of food from Huntington Food Bank at $450 a skid, which would be all canned goods. For $750, I could buy 1 skid of canned goods and 1 skid of cereal and drinks, little drinks for little kids. What I'm asking for is, in September, we came here and asked for $1,000, which took care of us getting our building to move into our new building and everything. We have one church that is helping us with everything, and it's a burden on them to keep going back to them asking for money. Now, I have filed for a governor's grant, which comes in effect in January, so we receive it in January for $5,000. What I'm asking the county is if they could supply at least 1 skid for me, buy me 1 skid of food to hold us over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, we got a lot of coal miners are going out of work, that's why the list has grown on the schools. If you look at the schools, Midway is 45, Duval is 120, Hamlin's 50, West Hamlin's 50, Ranger is 65, and I just added Harts, which is 40, the new school. We do all the elementary. Now, the high school and Guyan Valley has their own food pantry. You know, that's why you see on TV that the kids asking for cans of stuff. We don't get none of that. They will not give it to them. And take care of their kids at the high school and there. So I'm asking, so please, can you try to help us through the holidays right now? Because, you know, I don't want to see no kids go hungry, you know.
Let me ask you a question. What schools did you talk to? What schools did you say were, that wasn't doing a food drive?
As of right now, okay, the county said they sent a letter. Hamlin did not do a food drive. West Hamlin did not do one. Duval did not do one. Ranger is a poor school. They gave us 6 little cans today, this morning when we delivered the food. We delivered today instead of tomorrow. We deliver every Friday. Harts said that they cannot do it. So the only one has given us anything as of right now is Ranger.
Well, I'd like to table this to the next meeting. There's a motion to table, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That being unanimous, motion carries. We're going to table to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we have to review the appointment of Civil Service Commission, John Smith.
That's the only application we received.
I move that we approve John Smith as the Civil Service Commission. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That being unanimous, motion carries. John Smith is now on the Civil Service. Next, we have Terry Martin with the Regional Intergovernmental Council regarding the Boone PSD.
Yes, good morning. Good evening. My name is Terry Martin. I'm with the Regional Intergovernmental Council. It's the same equivalent of your Region 2 down in Huntington. We cover Clay, Kanawha, Boone, and Putnam counties for water and sewer projects. And I have Terry Moran here with the Teston Associates. We've been working for almost 5 years to run the Mooresville Cameo waterline extension from Julian over to the Cameo area. And I know Mr. McCann sat in on a number of meetings that we've had at the Infrastructure Council. We almost had this funded back in 2011 when the water company decided to pull its public-private partnerships. We have gone back through and redesigned the project, and we are 100% funded with AML on the Cameo side. What we're doing is a trunk line, and what we're doing is we just wanted to bring this to your attention. We're close to really asking for a boundary adjustment to serve Lincoln County customers in this. We're also working with Thrasher to make sure that neither one of us infringe on anyone else's. I know you have a project down in the Woodville area. We're very close from alcohol. We want to make sure we're not duplicating customers there. I'm going to turn it over. I'm not a technical person. I'm a grant writer. I'm going to turn it over to Terry Moran to explain exactly what we're talking about.
Thank you. Terry's right. We
Hey, can you bring it over here so
Yeah.
everyone can see it?
Is that better?
Yeah, I was making sure everyone can see it.
Boone County has really been working hard, very diligently on this since 2008. And, you know, we are at the position where we want to move to the Public Service Commission, get ready to go to construction. We know we have to have this boundary revision. As the project begins at roughly Breedlove Lane, extends down Route 3, turns at Woodville, goes out Horse Creek Road. And it's really from the Woodville area and Horse Creek Road where there's Lincoln County customers. Like he said, we met with the PSD on an informational basis, Lincoln PSD, a couple weeks ago, and went through this, met with the engineer afterwards to make sure we're not, you know, butting into each other. I don't think we are. Ultimately, we have to come to you with meets bounds that describe this portion of Lincoln County that's going to be carved out in and turned over to Boone County PSD. In our area, it's going to be something like what you see in this on this yellow line. That's an approximation. Here's Woodville. Here's Horse Creek Road, down to the Lincoln County line on the south before you go back into Boone County on Horse Creek Road. I want to touch on a couple of areas. I know with Commissioner Pan that in our meeting at, I think, 2009, that at Infrastructure Council, one of the things that was discussed was Laurel Fork, and the infrastructure said, don't turn in your funding application with Laurel Fork in it, but we'll see if we can come up with the money to do that. Back in the 2009, 2010, our project grew to be pretty big, and our gap in funding grew to be correspondingly big. And at some point, we were looking around, we'd have to come up with $2 million. Boone County PSD is in a partnership with the water company. We don't have a revenue stream, so we can't service debt to extend. Ultimately, we had to find a way to scale things back. One of the things, we had to cut out, unfortunately, Cameo Road in Boone County. There was a couple of spurs in Boone County had to cut out. The extension on Laurel Fork, Boone County did have us design it. It's in our design package, but it's about $500,000 to $700,000 to get a couple miles of water line to get to 20 homes. As we discussed it at the PSD meeting, either we're gonna have to go look for a grant to do that, or you all, once this water line is built, it's gonna be at the mouth of Laurel Fork. You all can just as soon get a grant as we could. You'd really be a more appropriate entity to go get a grant to serve those people. We are gonna serve what's called Dryden Street in Woodville, the Witten / Exxon. There's a road to the left of the sawmill that goes out about 2/3 of a mile. We're not proposing to serve that. And then once you go south of that, if they're in Lincoln County, we're proposing to serve them with this project. I will point out, for the services in Lincoln County as well as some of them in Boone County, that's money that Boone County has to come up with. It's not paid for by AMO. And there are some spurs that are gonna get run to get to the Witten market and then a couple other places, and we have to come up with that money, but we think we can do that. We do get some in-kind contribution from the water company for every customer that we pick up, so. Yeah, I think we anticipate being back here, as soon as.
Probably next month, about this period of time. We're trying to get everything together. We had sign-ups in Morrisville, Cameo, when we started this project out. We're not gonna hold any of the people to those because we didn't collect any money or because there wasn't a fee. we're deciding, because a lot of times population moves, so therefore someone that signed it in 2009 might live in Kanawha County or might live out of state. So we're gonna have a drive to have that. But since we're using AML funding and we're not charging a deposit on the customers, it's not a necessary thing. We don't have a customer count because we don't have any revenue coming in. I mean, this is all mostly AML as far as the project area. We're running, AML is paying for a trunk line through Lincoln County, and we're gonna have to pay for the extensions out to those people.
Yeah, Terry has a good point. The people we serve on this project, we don't, I know in some of the projects that have happened in Lincoln County and other places, there's been a deposit required when there's a user agreement, as a commitment that you're serious about it. We don't need that for this project. We don't intend to have a tap fee for people who want to hook on. We are going to go to them to get user agreements because that helps us maximize our contribution from West Virginia American Water.
I have a question. Has any of these 39 proposed customers already paid a tap fee in any way for the Alcoa Woodville project?
We're not sure.
Well, the reason I say that is because I know just from what I understand is that, you know, we had to have a certain amount of customers that were willing to sign on. And I don't know, I mean, if this would happen, would that somehow violate the terms and conditions of the Alcoa Woodville project as far as us going when we went and got money?
And one of the things that got discussed at the PSD meeting a couple of weeks ago was a citizen asked the question, is that gonna mess up our balance on user agreements? The engineering consultant looked at it, I talked to them yesterday, and they said, you know, you all need to serve WIT. So I presume it didn't really affect and when you're talking about the Woodville area right in here, that's really the only place the two projects come together. Once you go south on Horse Creek, the Alcoa project wasn't going that way.
You were stopping right at this area,
Yeah.
at the Exxon station and this area of Woodville. We continued, and as we explained at the meeting of the PSD, we would be glad to cut across here and not serve any customers in Woodville, because we don't really need them. It's really to our disadvantage to try to serve them, because it might cost, we're expecting about $3,500 per customer at the water company. If it costs us $7,000 to get us somewhere, we're $3,500 in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying,
Yeah, I understand.
we have a big project, and, you know, it is, you know, fixing to go in.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, soon. I mean, this is gonna happen.
Mhm.
And I don't, what I'm saying is wouldn't want this to jeopardize that project because of
We
the debt.
we explained that we will go to the nth degree, so it will not.
Yeah, we told the PSD, you tell us who we need to serve, so that we don't harm your project, and they've come back, or at least informally have come back and said, this is who you should serve.
And one of the reasons I say that is, I was at the meeting whenever the accountant, and I think it was Griffith, who said that, you know, he felt comfortable with the number of signups that we have, and it was all about debt coverage. And that's why I was asking about that. So, I mean, if it would take any more signups, then I don't know how that would affect the debt coverage for that
I will
project.
guarantee that we will get a letter from USDA, which is doing the funding, that it will not affect, if that's a concern.
I'm Danielle Nelson, I'm with Thrasher.
Mhm.
I don't make direction.
Yeah, I do now.
Me and Jonathan checked on it, and all the people that you guys are looking to cover right through there is only gonna affect 6 customers that we had originally had of I guess of those 39, so. And we discussed the numbers, and it shouldn't be, I don't think
How many
Tracy has an
projects, how many
issue.
customers are being served total approximately, in your all's project?
25 or 330. 330.
320 is in.
Yeah, okay.
So you can see it's a pretty
I knew you
small.
were shooting for 340.
6 out of 3.
You know, I just, I didn't want to, something like that to, you know,
I understand.
Did I quote, my conversations with
Yeah.
Jonathan? Yeah,
where there's an understanding, there's no misunderstanding.
right. We don't want to
Have to-
misunderstand.
Now, so the 39 customers you're talking about there, if that was the number about, you guys get from West Virginia American Water $3,500 a customer, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we do need some revenue to pay for some of the little spurs that come off this trunk line going down to Morrisville. And also just to pay for the services for people. The actual AML study, well, it's not on this drawing, but it's really just Morrisville on. So there's quite a few customers before you get to Morrisville, and we have to come up with the money to set the services.
But we will work out the boundaries and make sure that Thrasher has signed off of them before we come back to you. And we're also gonna make the same presentation to the PSD again, to make sure, because we were just showing
You
what
mean
we had
the
done.
Lincoln PSD?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask one question. So we're talking about the trunk line coming down Route 3 and not being able to serve Laurel Fork, which has been a big issue, with our people there. But there will be plenty enough supply of water.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
This line can flow a lot. It's got an operating pressure of over 200 pounds per square inch. We have to use ductile pipe to address it. Yeah, it's the water comes up over Drawdy Mountain. The water's coming out of the Drawdy Mountain tank. So it's,
what?
yeah, it's a long way. We're building a tank on our project out on the Hobet Service Mine. So there's actually a flow coming from 2 directions to this. So what we designed, when we went with our health permit, which we got in 2010, we did the hydraulic couch for the 2 miles of Laurel Fork that we designed, and they don't have any problem getting fire flow and proper pressure.
Okay, somebody has a question.
Okay, I would like to ask Danielle and, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Are you saying the 39 customers does not affect our 320 user agreements in no respect? Is that right, Danielle?
Well, the 6 will need to be taken off, but as far as, how I guess with the accountant, how the debt works out to keep all the money balanced, it shouldn't affect.
I don't want shouldn't, because we've had enough problems now, I mean.
Well, right, no, I understand. I don't have an app, Jonathan's been talking to Tracy, so everything should be settled.
Because you know that it was almost axed because we had to come down because it was 350 and they
The
approved it
470
at
to begin
320
with.
and we cannot go below 320, otherwise our project is jeopardized.
Right, and I think the new number for that, everything's on an even keel as long as we stay at 290.
What you might be doing is, because you're getting rid of Dryden Street, as far as those customers, you might be cutting down the cost of your project, which would, in effect, lower the number of customers, because you
There's
would
some
be-
pavement
you wouldn't be-
replacement,
you
road
wouldn't be
crossings, and
borrowing
stream
as much
crossings that
money.
get cut out of y'all's project.
Well, I was just, we're just looking at the.
We're not
technical
planning
ends
on trying to undermine any project. We would love to work together. Truthfully, at some point in time, we would think the water company, because they come from this way, if you would connect the two, you would have 2 ways to get water to both Lincoln County and Boone County. If they had a problem with Drawdy Mountain, they could come from you, and if you had a problem with you, they could come from Drawdy Mountain. As Terry has said, we have over 200, we had to put a pressure reducing valve because we had something like 271 pounds of pressure at the bridge going on Route 3 to the, because I knew it blew out when they first
Well,
blew it.
I think we all agree, we wanna try to give as many people the water as we can, and I think, before I think this commission would act, we'd like to see everything in writing, saying it's not gonna affect our projects, and then we'd be fine with it. I don't think I'd have a problem at all with it. I mean, that's one of the things that we have tried to do here, is try to get people water as best we can with what we can. And I think this is a good project that'll serve those people well, and like I say, as long as we have it in writing that, it's not gonna affect our funding for our project, and I understand that if you cut back numbers, it also, but it changes ratios too, and you may have a minimal ratio you have to meet, and so you know, I think that's Mercy's concern too, is, you know, that
I agree.
shouldn't happen and things like that, but, you know, I think it's, in looking at later on down the line, as far as putting the water up Laurel Fork, it helps us a lot too.
Yes.
Sure. You know, I think that we look at it with that in mind too, but I think as long as we have assurances that, you know, we're not gonna have problems with funding of the projects that's already been funded.
Fully understand that.
then
If
will-
we have to adapt ours to give you those customers back, we're happier even to do that than to take them.
Well said. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.